I don't win much on eBay because I put low bids in. Hope for the best, hope for a bargain. But I did win this. I put an opening bid of £7. 10 days later, I was informed I'd won it for £7. It's the best of British collection. I can't find the word coin or coins anywhere there. Anywhere. Now, this is from the Coin Club, but that's spelled with a K. I was going to take them out of there, but is that sealed? Are they sealed in there? I've got to cut them out. No, they're idiot proof. That's why I struggled with it. They come out like this. Look. Let's put that one back and we'll start at the top here. So this one is queuing. Please wait here. Standing in line is apparently quintessentially British. Let's have a look down the bottom here. I assume they're the same size as a 50p coin, 28.5mm. Weight 7.5 grams. Plating 0.999 silver. That's just plating. And the finish proof-like. So I'll take it out of this capsule because I can't film through the plastic very well. Just comes apart there. There we go. So there it is. You can see it's proof-like. We've got the footsteps in the middle queuing up nicely, and all the other people in the world chaotic. Not waiting in turn at all, which is nonsense, isn't it? Surely people in other countries must wait in line as well for certain things. Like the cinema. Don't queue jump. You don't wait in line in pubs though in the UK. If someone comes to serve you and someone at the bar before you, you just say, oh, this person was first. It's called manners. Well, that's the main side. I suppose we call that the obverse. On the reverse, we've got the best of British collection. Right, it says queuing. Let's chop that out of there and bring it closer to the screen. Queuing. A custom that the British do better than any other nation is forming an orderly queue. Born out of social norms in the 19th century as an unspoken code of conduct. Britain's reputation for politeness and queuing is accepted as part of everyday life. Next. We'll put that one back there. And look at the next one. Roast dinner. There we are. Best of British roast dinner. Looks like a bit of beef there. I think that's meant to be beef, don't you? Doesn't have to be beef. Could have been lamb, even chicken. Can you get vegetarian Sunday roasts? Probably. Nut roast, something like that. When I was growing up in Bedfordshire, 3 meals a day, breakfast, dinner and tea. None of this lunch nonsense. So if you see a pub advertising Sunday lunch, ignore that and go and find one that says Sunday dinner. They know what they're talking about. All depends what part of the country you were from, I suppose, and how old you are. But let me know, did you say breakfast, dinner and tea, like we did? Or did you say breakfast, lunch and dinner? Roast dinner. If British tradition is anything to go by, then Sundays were made for roast dinners. Eating a roast is like eating part of the British landscape, consisting of all the ingredients that flourish in the British landscape and soil, topped with gravy. Lashings of gravy. Right, the next one is military. So there we go. We've got the Royal Air Force, the Army and the Royal Navy. And the Union Jack flag there. The Union flag. The paintwork's not very good on these coins, is it? I don't think it's... It's a bit rough around the edges. Quite nice detail there. I don't think that's quintessentially British, is it? I mean, most countries have got military, and a lot of countries have got a bigger military than us now. And it says here, made up of the British Army, Royal Air Force, Royal Navy and Royal Marines. The British Armed Forces have seen action in all conflicts with major world powers. They are responsible for protecting Britain from land, sea and air while promoting the wider interests of the UK. The next one is this one, and it is Big Ben. That's not Big Ben, I hear you say. Now.
That's not Big Ben.
Yes, this of course is one of the clocks on the outside of the Elizabeth Tower. Big Ben is the bell inside the tower. Yeah, actually, I quite like that design. Don't know why, I do. What do you think? Yeah, because when you see that image, you think Big Ben. You don't think Elizabeth Tower. And if you're telling me you do think Elizabeth Tower straight away, then I don't believe you. But to be fair, it does address it here. Big Ben. Commonly mistaken as the clock itself, Big Ben is actually the nickname of the great bell within the Elizabeth Tower. Standing at the north end of the Houses of Parliament since 1859, it's the largest of 5 bells, weighing a huge 13.5 tonnes. We'll put that one back. What's it say up here? Derived from the Latin word Britannia, the name Britain quite simply means land of the Britons. To be considered British, you can be from any of the 4 countries within the United Kingdom: England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland. Now, Northern Ireland is in the UK, but do you Northern Ireland people consider yourself British or Northern Irish? Because if I'm abroad and somebody asks me where I'm from, I just say England. I wouldn't even consider saying Britain. Right, next one. It's Charles Dickens. Let me take that out of there. There it is, Charles Dickens. And in the middle there, please sir, I want some more. Spoken by Oliver Twist. There's a few other Dickens novels there and stories. It's not been done very well, I don't think. Not as good as a £2 coin. And that's Oliver Twist's bowl. He wanted some more gruel put in there. Charles Dickens lived from 1812 to 1870. Charles Dickens, a writer and social critic. Dickens created some of the world's most renowned fictional characters. His novels are still widely read and taught across the world today, making him one of the greatest novelists of all time, and has left not only Oliver Twist wanting more. I don't think he's going to write any more. A £2 coin was minted in 2012, featuring Charles Dickens and a lot of his stories and novels. I made a video on that, I'll put a link at the end. Let's put that one back. And what's next? This one. The Lady with the Lamp. Florence Nightingale. Did she have a lamp like that? There's no dates on there, but she lived between 1820 and 1910. Florence was a trainer of nurses and a manager during the Crimean War, and she was also a statistician. What are the chances of that happening? Florence Nightingale, hailed as the founder of modern nursing. Florence Nightingale was affectionately known as the Lady with the Lamp during her time caring for wounded soldiers in the Crimean War. Today, the legacy of her work continues to shine in the history books. So we'll put the Lady with the Lamp back there. Now, what did I say the size and weight of these were? Diameter 28.5, so it's slightly bigger than a 50p. And the weight of a 50p is 8 grams, so they're slightly lighter as well. So I'll get the next one out and then I'll compare it with a 50p. So what's this one? It's telephone, phone box. Yeah, these old type of boxes always said telephone, not phone. I think that should say telephone box there. Phone box. A familiar sight on the streets of the UK, the bright red telephone box was designed by Sir Giles Gilbert Scott. Although advances in technologies have meant these are now pretty much redundant, they have become something of a retro favourite, since being voted in the top 10 designs of icons in the UK. Not a bad design though. So I've got a 50p here. This is a Queen's Memorial from 2022. And if I put it in front of that, yeah, you can see the 50p is slightly smaller. So these can't be cupronickel, and they can't be nickel plated either, because that would be too heavy. So they've got to be steel, haven't they? Steel plated. Let me get a magnet. Right, let's put it back in there. Go and get my magnet over here. And let's have a go. Ah, yes, definitely steel plated. Yeah, very magnetic. It does say it's plated there, but doesn't say what the coin is made of, but it's got to be steel, hasn't it? They're not coins, are they? They're tokens, but as I said, it doesn't even mention the word coins on there at all, so they're not even pretending to be coins. And they're a limited edition. This is number 204 of 999. Let's have a look at the last one. And this one's rugby. There he is, rugby player. I haven't bothered with a face. Yeah, if I was to remove that ink or paint, whatever it is, it would just be a flat area. There's no features under it. I'm tempted to do that. Rugby. Legend claims that rugby started in 1845 in Rugby School, Rugby, Warwickshire, England. Difficult to understand, rugby is now divided into two types, union and league, which are both considered professional sports. Just try to remember the rules for them both. Well, I've watched a lot of rugby. Do I understand the rules? Of course I don't. As I record this, the Six Nations rugby tournament is on, and England are doing terribly badly. Got beaten by Italy for the first time in 2,000 years, I think. I'm very tempted to take that colour off there, ink, paint, whatever it is. I've got this Great Strip Gel Paint Stripper. Safe and effective paint stripping gel for all types of paint and varnish. Shall I drop it in there, leave it for 24 hours and see what happens? No, I'll put it back in there for now and I'll let the comments decide. So in the comments, shall I put it in the paint stripper or shall I keep them? Let me know in the comments. So yeah, keep it or strip it in the comments, and whichever's the most, that's what I'll do. And if strip it wins, it's going in there and I'll make another video and let you know what happened. Have you got this set? And if so, how much did you pay for it? I think there's a few different sets of these with a few different quintessentially British things. But £7, and that included postage as well, so just £7. Well, there they are then. They're not as bad as I thought they were going to be, actually. Okay, thanks for watching. There's that Charles Dickens £2 coin video that I made, showing you all of the stories and novels on the coin. Right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.